mean surprises in terms of the record or surprises in terms of everything?
My honest thinking behind that is that they probably don't know what the surprise is either yet. And they've got 5 months to figure it out.
And I really feel like they need someone younger in the team there. So someone could have like a different perspective. Or someone could tell them that they need to do digital stuff, which they really don't like to. They don't like to put stuff for free.
The backlash has kind of grown and snowballed quite a lot, which prompted the estate to release a statement. And here is what they've had to say regarding the controversy. So buckle yourselves in because you are in for a treat.
Been through it already.
We want to thank all the Michael Jackson fans who have expressed their excitement about the Thriller 40 campaign that will be rolling out over the coming months, which will include the release of the 2-CD album coming this November 18th, 2022. Some of you expressed your concerns about the change of the original Thriller album cover packaging as part of the 40th anniversary celebration. We wanted to share with you that the original album packaging is not being replaced permanently, only as part of the campaign to celebrate this milestone anniversary this year. After the campaign concludes, the original packaging will continue to be used on all pressings of the Thriller album. It is very common for artists to make... Sorry, this is where they get patronising. You're just going to have to give me a moment. It's very common for artists to make changes to album packaging to mark special milestones like anniversaries, remastering, etc., including Michael, who changed the photo layout and treatment on the lettering for Thriller 25. And to be honest, it is something that we think is a smart thing to do. In this case, the photo comes from the same photo shoot, but is slightly different, and the biggest change is just to the font for the lettering so that overall it feels both familiar and new at the same time. In selecting the new fonts, the goal was to make the design feel fresh and current for music fans who are only now discovering Michael Jackson and this iconic album. We would encourage you to focus on some of the things that are yet to be announced that are part of the campaign and are directly in response to the numerous fan requests over the years, such as unreleased material and 4K short films. Please stay tuned for more announcements about Thriller 40, as the estate has planned several anniversary activations between now and the end of the year. Thank you, MJ Online team.
It's as if like everyone will read that and be like, oh, they tried, so we like it now.
I'm baffled by the fact that they always, every time we are complaining about something, they always seem to come back with, you're wrong. The fact that they actually have a long time to change this, right? I can't imagine them having that many pre-orders with that logo on it that they can't make adjustments. They can, but instead they decide to, piss us off even more.
They could have won the day, right? If they'd have come back and been like, following the feedback from the logo that we released on the mocked-up artwork, which isn't yet printed, we've taken all the feedback on board and we understand the fans' disappointment. We did want to create something different, but we realised that wasn't really the right approach. So leave it with us. We're going to go back and relook at it. You would have won the day and the fans would have said, finally, the estate are actually listening to us. I mean, it took 10 years of bullying on Twitter daily for them to finally do a deal with Getty Images to share decent quality images. 10 years of comments every single day until they finally said, okay, there's obviously fans aren't happy with the image quality, let's do a deal with Getty. I mean, we've got to wait till Thriller 50 for them to acknowledge this and go, all right, we'll give you the original again.
I think based on the work that they've put out previously, like Thriller 25 and Bad 25, this isn't even remotely close to what they look like. There are similarities in Bad 25 and Thriller 25. The covers are similar in the way that they've remastered them. This is nothing like it. And I love how they throw in oh, well, this is after years of fan requests, we're finally delivering. Like, yeah, and now we're asking for a logo change. So let's do that.
Thriller 50, I'm telling you, we'll get the logo change.
Listen though, with okay, it's great that we're going to get remastered 3 music videos, which Billie Jean can't be in 4K, so you're lying. It will be 2K, which I'm still really happy about. But the fact that they're literally over 10 years late with that, the fact that we were expecting Bad 25 concert and short films restored, but only thing we got restored was that performance from the documentary which Spike Lee did that they have absolutely nothing to do with. Yeah, and we were expecting that live concert they put out, the Bad Tour, in literally a potato quality. You can literally, you put it on any high definition screen, any 4K screen, and you're watching it in cubes, in pixels.
Yes, I'm grateful for the 2 extra videos that we're going to get, but let's not pretend like you've gone, above and beyond for this. You picked the album with the second to Invincible for short film limits and said, okay, well, we'll do those too.
I get that they can't do everything at once. Like, I actually agree with the approach that, okay, it's Thriller's anniversary, let's remaster those videos. I understand giving it to us in parts so that we're not starved of content in the years to come, but there's also not living up to par now.
Yeah, I agree with that. However, it's when they said, numerous fan requests over the years. So it's kind of like, yes, I agree with you that not everything can come at once, and it makes sense because you're celebrating Thriller to give us Thriller. But don't make out that you're only giving us 4K Thriller because we've been asking for it. Because we've been asking for, you could have released 4K years ago when nothing was happening. When the Scream album came out, you could have dropped 4K videos then for Dirty Diana and all the other weird songs that you decided to include on it. So let's not pretend that this is a result of us asking. I want to come back to the logo because where they said the goal was to make it feel fresh and current for those who are discovering Michael Jackson and this iconic album. The reason this comment kind of bugs me is because ultimately, if you go on TikTok or you go on YouTube and you watch little kids discovering Michael for the first time, they're in a Billie Jean glove, they're in a Billie Jean hat, they're in a sequin jacket. They're not in no new Thriller font t-shirt or wanting a new... my point is that to say that you need to change something so that it appeals to the younger people would suggest that Michael doesn't appeal. And if you look at the videos and you look at TikTok and you look at what's actually out there, it does appeal. Michael does appeal. His work appeals. Not their work, his work. You don't see kids on TikTok bop into Blue Gangster and Escape. You see them bop into Billie Jean and Smooth Criminal and Thriller and Beat It and the stuff he created.
I fail to understand how they thought this is the most iconic thing, let's zhuzh it up a bit. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense, and they didn't even make any effort on it.
Don't you think it's interesting how much emphasis they're putting on a logo? Because when I first saw it and I didn't like it, and I spoke to you guys and you didn't like it, at first I was like, okay, are we being a bit petty about this? It is just a logo. There is, all this other stuff coming. To see their statement suggests that they actually place more emphasis on this logo than I first thought. So in understanding now that actually the logo is really important to them to change it for the reasons they've outlined, that's why it's even worse, because they've actually said that we thought carefully about this. I think it's a lot of hot air personally, but their suggestion is that they thought really long and hard about this and how they could make it modern, and they wanted to make it fresh, and they wanted to attack the logo. So they've put more emphasis on this than anybody else. So that's why now I feel that the kind of backlash is justified, because you're claiming that you've put loads of thought into this and loads of reasoning and logic behind it. The
kind of most grating about it is the people who are reacting in this way, to put it bluntly, are the people that care the most and are the people who are going to consume this content. You cannot say to the people who are the loyal fans who buy everything, they're the ones who already have seen the logo and have all the opinions about it. I'm not trying to be like them and us, but the general public who like Michael Jackson, who, well, he was a part of my childhood, who it's just, they're not fans, so to speak. They aren't going to see this until it comes out in November. So if the people who care the most are telling you now, we don't like this, change it, what chance have they got?
Yeah. I've seen some commentary from some fans online. You know, obviously with this logo coming out, there will be some fans that like it. And, you know, that's okay. If you like it, you like it. You can't help what you like and what you don't. You know, I have seen some unfair comments that say, oh, you know, this is typical certain group of fans that just want to attack the estate and just want to have something to say about John Branca. Which I don't think is fair, because speaking from a personal perspective, anybody that's sort of followed me or knows me knows that I've always said I judge every single project individually and as it comes. Which is why I have seen MJ1 endless times in Vegas, 7 or 8 times. I loved the Escape album. I was in New York and I haven't seen MJ the musical, and I've got no interest in seeing it either. I judge every project as I find it. And based on what comes around it, what happens around it, how it's put together, who's involved, who said what. And that's how I look at it. And so to kind of just band it as, oh, well, they just hate the estate is not fair. And I don't think that's the right way to approach it. Are we overreacting with it? You know, I think it's fair for fans to be like, listen, I'm really excited for Thriller, but this has let everything down. And I think when you look at this logo scenario, the main point is it didn't even need to happen. It was such an unnecessary thing that it didn't need... Like, if they'd have gone for a whole new cover and the fans didn't like the cover, you know, there's a different argument there. But it was kind of like... It's almost like they sat there and looked at it and was like, what could we change? We've got to change something. As if like a kid with sticky fingers went up to the Mona Lisa and just went, yeah. That's how it felt.
I'm like, surely there was more than one suggestion. Like, surely there was other options than just this logo. So at what point did they sit down and they decided on this one? Or was this the only one? Because I would think no, but maybe I'm wrong.
It feels so generic. Like, it just... these people, there's no care for his art or anything he's done. They don't know anything. They're just there to do the job, to put something out, and that is it. And that's what it always feels like. It feels like they don't know what's going on. It feels like they don't love what they're doing or what they're in charge of.
I just think they would benefit so much from actually talking to fans or the young people that they want to appeal to. I don't know who they are, I don't know what age group they're going for, but they would benefit from actually talking to the people who want this stuff as opposed to just guessing.
I agree with you. I have a question on that. How, from their perspective, and giving them an inch here, I understand the challenge of that, because how do you make that work? And how do they pick people that are going to give them honest answers?
Well, I think a good starting point is involving people earlier in the process. So before the album's completely done, like for Thriller 40, this is a perfect example. There could have been polls on the social media months ago, on Twitter, on Instagram, asking people. They could have drawn up 6 mock logos. Which do you guys prefer? Like, they don't do anything like that. They don't do polls on the social media. They don't do, like, not that I've seen anyway. Maybe I'm wrong in that.
We don't ask for anything crazy. Like, I don't want different font on Thriller. I don't care about it.
I think that when it comes to the font on Thriller, what's interesting is that if you change nothing, you lose nothing. But if you change something, you stand the potential, yes, to possibly gain, but equally to lose more than you set out to achieve. The problem is, if you're not going to market research that new design to the hills before it comes out, then you stand the potential to lose. If you'd have put it out exactly the same, you'd have lost nothing.
On the chance of saying, that's just the mock-up, you know, for the shops, for pre-orders for you guys, and we'll change it. Like, we literally thought that and they...
It's because they then stuck it on a bloody hoodie that it was like, okay, well, there is no going back from this now. When it was just one, CD design, and we haven't actually touched upon the vinyl design, which looks even worse. It was plausible that this could be changed. Now it's on a hoodie and on a hat and on everything else. You're like, oh, there's literally no coming back from this. But, I mean, on the plus side, some fans have taken it upon themselves to try and make good of this bad situation and put up their own suggestions. I mean, look, that's very reminiscent of the Bad 25 box set. And that would be a nice package. It's a bit like the Thriller 25 for Japan as well. Like a nice box set, traditional cover, shots from Victory Tour, multi-disc. Yeah, I'm here for that.
I love that.
No, I would absolutely love that. I'll buy it. Take my money.
Okay, so this is another version. I really love that one in the top left with the tiger. I think that's such a cool kind of special edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool. I think it's really cool though, because I think, well, people of my mum's generation, like my mum always talks about how seeing Michael in the white suit with the tiger was like the coolest thing that people had seen at that time, and that's really nostalgic, I think.
Yeah, it's like an outtake from the album.
Yeah, and I love when you open the disc up and Michael's on the front too.
Okay, this is one from Soy Sir Silver, which I think is really kind of sleek and classic.
Genuinely is.
And it's nice because you can still tell it's 40th anniversary, but it's got the curve around the Thriller. It works. It's another one that just works.
Yeah. I really like the border too, which is kind of nice and cohesive from the past 25th anniversary editions.
And this is his special edition demos with
love
the tiger print is so cool because it's so subtle but just so relevant to the album.
Yeah, I love this.
It's amazing.
So this is from Tink 777.
Love that.
So I love the kind of like glittery, starry background spread across the back.
It gives the Billie Jean jacket vibes.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
And the whole thing gives it a sense of class. Even with when you put technically the same sort of font for their 40 with Michael's font over the top, it actually works.
It really does.
And then, of course, we've got the main one.
Absolutely love the black one. It's just so simple. I love that.
I mean, that's probably been the most popular one that a fan has made that other fans have seen and said, why is this not the release? And it's, just the black cover with the Thriller font across the middle is perfection.
You don't even need anything else. Just that font that makes the album, I feel like.
Because it's iconic on its own. You recognise, the minute you see that, the fact that you could take Michael's image off the cover and people would still recognise it's Thriller by that font. Mm-hmm. And I think he captured that perfectly in this recreation. It does the job. It looks classy. And that's what the new design, especially the vinyl, is lacking.
Yeah, I can't put into words my disappointment with it.
No. Me too.
Obviously, they've mentioned a deluxe vinyl, which looks really nice, the SACD, and 4K videos. So what are our thoughts on these other products that are coming out aside from the main album?
Very happy about 4K films. They're like 10 years late, but we're getting it, so it is what it is. But vinyl, great. I think vinyl looks absolutely amazing. Probably the only product that actually looks good with that cover. But I mean, SACD, Charlotte, have you heard of it before?
No.
That was one of my points I made that day when they put out the statement. Who the hell owns SACD player? Apparently now you can put it on a normal CD player as well. But it's just, why aren't we just putting it on streaming services in high quality? It makes no sense to me.
I had to Google what an SACD was.
Me too.
That's nice for collectors who do collect everything, and I understand that. What I kind of feel aggrieved by is that they've said, oh, well, we'll just keep the original design on that one and we'll just add a little band across the top that says 40th anniversary. And it looks great. But, you know, they haven't touched that because they know, oh, the collectors will want this, but they won't want an edited version.
I think with the 4K thing, couldn't be happier about it. So excited about it. Thank God it's finally here. As far as I know, and am I right in saying that statement is the first time that they've mentioned that will be done?
Yes.
The fact that was put in that statement as a pacifier to shut us all up is what's really got to me.
Yeah, it felt a bit kind of, you know, oh, here you go. We're getting a bit of heat for the cover and for the logo. Tell them about the 4K now. Yeah.
That's what it feels like. That's genuinely what it feels like.
Exactly. And I think that's the problem with that it hasn't come out as part of a big press release of this is what you're going to get on disc 2. This is that you're going to get 4K. You're going to get this. I think it's because they're still not signed it off properly to know what they're going to put on there. And because we kicked off about the logo, it's like, yeah, don't worry about the logo because you're getting 4K. And I think they even said we would encourage fans not to focus on the logo. So You're almost admitting that you know it's shit, but you're going to give us other things, so don't worry about it.
The way that they said that to kind of take the heat off of them, it was just...
It's more annoying.
But it kind of just shows how little they actually value what the fans have to say.
And I just don't like this. Okay, well, there's £100 vinyl, but you can have the cheap one if you want with the shitty cover. And there's a essay CD, which is 35 quid. But you can have the cheap one if you want for $13.99. It will come 5 months late if you order from michaeljackson.com, but you'll get it in time for Thriller 45.
I refuse to buy it from them. I genuinely refuse. And we've done a video before about their merch.
Yeah.
And about their deliveries, and you waited for a year for your masks when pandemic was done. It arrived. So I've ordered Scream vinyl myself in 2017, and I wanted to have it for Halloween, and that's how it was promoted. Get it before Halloween. December, I still didn't have it, so I got a refund.
I got my Scream sweatshirt ordered in September, arrived in February.
So this time, I refuse. If I'm buying something with Thriller, which I probably will, I'm not buying it from them. I will be ordering it on Amazon to have it next day.
I think this is like maybe a bit of a general thing to say, but I think the estate need to get out their feelings when it comes to the criticism, because if Michael was here and releasing a Thriller 40 itself, we would all still be criticising it. We would all still have opinions, as we do with the content that we debate over and criticise every time that we are together. It's not because the estate are releasing it that we have all these criticisms. Yes. It's the way that it's delivered.
And the caveat to that is that if Michael was here, the defence of anything we didn't like would be Michael saying, well, this is my record and this is how I want to put it out. However, in this scenario, the estate can't really say, well, this is our record, because it's like, no, not really. And to be fair, you know, Thriller is the world's record, which is why it is a world record holder. That album belongs to the world because it conquered the world, and it's the biggest selling album of all time. So to bring things around to a more kind of positive conclusion, on Thriller 40, will we be buying it?
I will buy it to support Michael, to support the release, not because I am thrilled with what they've done with it.
See what you did there.
For real.
Short answer, yes, but not because I love what they've done with the thing.
I think for me, if it's not worth it, I genuinely won't be buying it, especially with that cover. But if it has some unreleased content as they promise, then yes, absolutely, I'll have it.
I do think, though, as fans will buy it, but people who are looking for something new to listen to will just go to streaming services. Like, why are people going to go out and buy things or buy one album for $13.99 when they can have all the albums for $10.99 on Spotify? Like, they're just not going to do it.
And do we really think that, if you look at Spotify instead of the CD market, which died a long time ago, do we really think that people will see the Thriller album cover and not click it on Spotify to play it, but see the new cover with a new logo and think, oh my God, that appeals to me because I'm young and I must click it and listen? And so to kind of say, well, it needed these changes, and then to say, well, Michael changed it for Thriller 25. It's like, well, 2 points on that. Michael didn't really change it up much. And secondly, it's Michael's album. It's his prerogative to do so.
Oh, and guess what? We complained about it when we didn't like it.
Yes, exactly. I don't remember there being a fan alive that was like, Fergie on Beat It. Are you f***ing kidding? Sorry. What do you think, if anything, Thriller 40 will contribute to the legacy as a whole?
And I think it's the right thing to do, and I'm hoping it will happen just to enhance the sales and certifications and finally say, actually, no, we have the biggest selling album in the US. That's what I'm hoping to happen. But I couldn't tell you if I can see it happening because I don't trust the estate. I feel like they'll just do this like massive promotional thing for a month maybe, and I feel like they'll just like ditch it if it doesn't work. So I don't know it's gonna do that much. I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. What do you guys think?
I am for any positive resurgence of Michael's work and any positive re-release in it, like anything that paints him in a positive way, which the Thriller album totally does, being put out there back into the public domain is great and kind of waking people up to Michael Jackson again.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I would like to see the most, and this is maybe really hopeful, is people kind of getting to know the other tracks that are forgotten about well again, like Baby Be Mine and The Lady of My Life and stuff. So to be honest, I do think that we could see maybe more of a trend in people enjoying Michael's music again in the way that it was intended to be enjoyed. I don't know how much it's going to bring new fans, but I think any kind of reintroduction to Michael is great, especially on an anniversary where it is deserved.
I agree. I think with the modern day, and I think with streaming services being huge, we're fortunate in the sense that if somebody discovers that record, the estate will never really know whether that was because they changed the logo or not. And that is what I take enjoyment out of that. It really will be about the music because Spotify is about music. It's not about album covers. Sales of the CD may play into, it didn't have a knock-on effect because people still bought it. Whereas with Spotify, you couldn't really argue one way or the other whether people clicked on it because it had a new logo. So I think it will add to, it'll be nice to know what some of the outtakes are. Do I think they're sitting on an Earth song or a Billie Jean in the vault? No. The very best work, especially where Thriller was concerned, they even said when we finished the record, the sound was horrible. We took off 4 songs, we put on four better ones, and that was the end result was Thriller. So it would be nice to have an extension to that story in terms of extra music. But is it going to kind of move the dial of how people view Thriller in the future? I don't think so. Unless they do a documentary, which they've got 5 months. So.
I mean, this is a perfect chance for the estate to make Thriller #1 this year. Last year, it went top 20 for the first time since the 80s, which is absolutely mental. But with the restored music video, hopefully on a streaming platform like YouTube, and, the 40th anniversary, all of that will enhance and push the song. So that, like Mariah's All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years to get to #1. So I feel like it's kind of Thriller's turn.
That will work if they do a global effort for this campaign, and it really has to be global. It's not America then everything else after, which we know that the estate have a kind of habit of doing. I want to see Australia get some attention for once, because Australia is always left out. I want to see Japan get some attention. I want to see the world embrace Thriller the way they did the first time around. And the estate have the money, they have the reach, they have the resources and the assets to do it. If they do it properly, it's going to be a global phenomenon. If they carry on down this train of, here's a terrible logo, like it or lump it, it's going to fall at the first hurdle. And I think that would be a real shame.
I mean, they're promising a whole journey of celebration up to November. It's not just, we're going to drop an album in November and that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they can make right decisions, which they have never. But, you know, we could still dream and pray.
So that was the big debate on Thriller 40. Do you agree with us or do you disagree with us? Do you love the logo or do you not like the logo? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.